Alright, so you guys can hear me? Alright, so we're going to make the West Coast drivetrain, and we're going to assume you already made the gearbox. So let's start with a part. So whenever you create a West Coast drive, you always want to start with the side rail, because that's where you can hammer in a lot of the critical dimensions, and then everything else follows from there. So I'm in a new part, right? You guys can follow? Yeah? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I like to start with, here, let's do it this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch on the front plane. So I'm going to sketch on the side rail. So if you just draw in a rectangle here, what I'd like to do is add 2 lines, and these lines are going to correspond to the middle of the, so this is the rail length. So let's make it 28 inches, and we'll make the height, it's 2 by 1, 2. So just like that. So now all I want to do is I create a point on here, and now I make this coincident with the origin. So now I have a drive rail, right? And now what we need to do is the drive rail consists of, so you know you're going to need bearing blocks, 1, 2, and 3. You're going to need, what's it called? You're going to need holes, square holes for the cutout for the bearing blocks, and that's actually all you're going to need, really. So in a West Coast drive, what do you know? You know that you're going to have wheels. So I'm going to sketch in wheels here. I'm going to sketch one more wheel. So I'm going to just draw these in to see the spacing in between the wheels. So I'm making it for construction. Let's say we have 8-inch wheels. So 8 inches. Cool. So now these right here are the holes for the bearing block. Oh wait, no. Actually, I'm not going to need those. Okay, so now we have that. Now let's hammer in the geometry for the drop center. So the drop center, what that means is that the middle wheel is lowered by a certain distance. So what I'm going to do is make a construction line that just goes from here to here. So what this actually is, these 2 lines are the length of the chain that the chain has to be. Right, so that's kind of nice. So we want them equidistant, so I'm just going to hit equal. So now if I snap this to the center, I'm going to unsnap it. See, if I make one longer, the other goes longer. So that's why I made these 2 lines equal. So you also know that this, the 2 outer wheels are going to be horizontal within one another. So now, what else do we know? So we know the distance. So how do we? So if you make a vertical distant smart dimension right here, this number is your drop center. So typical drop centers are 1/8 inch, something like that. So I'm going to make this big for now, and then we can just change it later. So this I'll label drop center. Cool. This is the diameter of the wheel, stuff like that. So now, this is the tube length. Okay. Have I made these equal? No. So now you just make them equal. So now the only other vertical distance I need, see, everything travels together. That means that everything, if I lock in one vertical dimension, everything else follows. So what I'm going to do is, I know that we want the center wheel to be in the center of the tube. So you just hit coincident. Now we just need to, let's watch this. When I let go, this snaps the middle of this circle to the center, and you'll see that everything turns black. So everything is defined once you get this height down. Okay, so now we need to figure. Okay, so what else do we need to know? We need to know the diameter of, okay, so we need to figure out what this dimension needs to be, right there. And that is, let's just say 1.125 for now. And how we figure that out is if we're using like a Vex Robotics gearbox. Let's go to VWall products. Let's go to gearboxes in motion. Yes. The middle? We might want to, yeah. For right now, I'm just finding out the diameter of this hole right here. And then after that, we can make sure that there's no collisions. So what happens if, you know, the diameter is super big, right? If this is like 2 inches, right? Then there's going to be collision. So I'm just getting this number, and then I'm going to figure out where that vertical distance is. So let's go to West Coast Products Gearbox. And is there a drawing for it? Drawings, West Coast Drive version. Okay, so what we need is the diameter of this teardrop bearing block, because that dictates what hole needs to go in the tube. And of course, I don't think they have it. Yeah, they don't have it. So when we import the CAD model, we'll change it. So yeah, all we need to do is snap this. Let's snap this to the center. And now, see this drop center? This drop center is 1. So now we can change this number. Let's do 0.125. So now we snap in that height. Now we just have to adjust this dimension right in here. So let's actually delete these for now. Okay, so let's just add in the distance from here to here. So this is the center to center. Let's just make it 9. So you see what we've done? Those are going to be equal. And these outer ones are going to be construction lines, construction geometry. Do you see how everything now is fully defined? This is the center to center. So now you can just play with these. This is the tube length, so the rail length. Cool, so now you can change the rail length, the center to center, the drop center, and the wheel size. So now, going back to this year's game, right, we wanted to make sure that the wheels weren't going to touch each other. Without adding in all of this extra geometry, these dotted lines, you don't know if the wheels are going to touch, right? So if we had a center to center of 6 inches, which is ridiculous, you'll see that there's collision here. So in this one sketch, you can kind of play with your geometry. So the next thing that we want to do is, okay, so on this side, so the hole that actually goes in this tube is not this circle. It's actually a rectangular cutout, right? You want the bearing block to slide. So what we're going to do is we are going to make a center line. So what we're going to do is take this line and that point, and we're just going to make it coincident. Nope. Oh, sorry, not coincident. I want to make it the midpoint. So now you have this cutout here. So now you can start dimensioning it. It might crash on me. Oh, cool. Okay, let's save this part first. So let's make a new folder called West Coast Drive. So this is the side rail. So let's go back in the sketch. And I think this height on West Coast Products is 1.375. And now what we need to do is figure out the width of that. So let's just make that 2 for now. I don't know the actual number. So what you want to do, so let me go find it. So let's go to, I think if you just type in bearing block. West Coast Products side bearing block. Oh. So the side bearing block, so let's go to drawings, side bearing block. Okay. Cool, so you see that we want this one. Drawings, side bearing block kit. Yeah, so you see here it's 1.375 by 1.375. So this is 1.375. So now if we make this this full cutout right here, the bearing block will perfectly fit into there. But right, we want it to slide. So what I'm gonna do is add a little room for it to slide. So I'm just gonna do that. So I'm just extending the hole. And now this dimension right in here is the slide. So let's make that. Okay, so if you have 25 pitch chain, that means that, so the first number, the 2, so to get the distance between links, you take that 2, the first number, and you multiply it by 1/8 inch. So 2 times 1/8 of an inch is 0.25 inches. So you want this thing to at least slide 0.25 inches. So let's make it slide, let's say 3 inches, why not? So this, let's just put a title, so bearing block size. And then this is the tension room. So this is what you actually use to tension block. So now what else are we going to need, right? So now see, this is all fully defined. I think we need one other thing, and that is going to be the whole where the tensioner goes. So the tensioner is going to go right in here. So, see that line right there is the tension distance. I don't know that number, so this is going to change. This is for the can. So can. And then for size, I don't know it yet. I'll just change it later. But let's make it 201. Maybe it's 201. Who knows? So now we have all of these dimensions, right? So I think we need to do this over here, but I don't actually need to. I don't want to do things more than once if I don't need to. So what I'm gonna do is that's also the reason why I built symmetry into this part. You see the center of the tube is at the origin. You'll see how nice this is to make. So now I'm going to extrude this this tube, and so the height is 2 inches and the depth is 1. So I want to build more symmetry in the part, so I just go mid-plane, hit enter, and now I have my tube. So what I want to do is first, this is hollow, or this is not hollow, so I need to hollow it out, give it the wall thickness. But more importantly, first I want to copy this over here. So I'm going to do that with a mirror tool. And this is why I love building symmetry into my parts, because all I need to do is mirror this. Oh, oops. Okay. So I extruded this by 1 inch. Oh, whoops. Yeah, see, an inch. So I just established the depth of my tube. So actually, before I do that, so this I'm going to make this called the layout. So now what I'm going to do is just go on another sketch on the same, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to offset what I need. So I'm making my extrusion right now. Oh, not offset, convert entities. So what I want to bring into this new sketch is the stuff I need to extrude. So I'm going to extrude that, and that. For now, that's it. So I'm just creating the tube, and you'll see why I'm doing this in a second. So here's the tube. So I'm going to do an inch and build it mid-plane. Now I have my tube. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into my sketch again. I'm going to create a new sketch on this front plane. And now I'm just going to convert over what I want to extrude. And I want to extrude that, or what I want to cut, right? So I need to cut those, and I want to cut that. And I'll cut that. So you'll see why I'm doing this just in a second. So I'm going to go extrude cut, and since I built it mid-plane, I need to cut through all on both sides. Let's just start here. So selected contours, I want to cut into that. I want to cut that out, and I want to cut this out in here. So now I go through all, just hit enter. That should work. Yeah, so now I have this cut. So why did I do this all in 3 steps? It looks like more work. Well, now I can actually just mirror this cut. Mirror this cut along that plane. So you see, what that allowed me to do, let's just get rid of the sketch. So now I have my tube. Extrude features. Oh, also I want to cut that out. Cool. So now I have my tube, and the one thing I need to do is just make this non-hollow. So sketch, I'm just going to, there's multiple ways of doing this. just convert entities. I'm gonna bring those edges into my sketch, hit enter. And now I can just offset these by my wall thickness, which is going to be 0.125. There you go. So now I'm just going to extrude cut and go through wall. So the selected contours, I want to cut out the inner part. And now we have our tube, right? So that's really all there is to it. Now, just for, yes. So in here, so this is the, let me label it. This is the wall thickness. Right, so we're using 2x1 by 1/8 inch aluminum. So let's, does that make sense, Diego? Cool, okay. So the only other thing I'm gonna do is just fillet this. So for now, maybe, so this fillet is gonna be created by the end mill that we use. So let's see, 11 edges. That looks about right. No. Clear sections. And then. That looks right. Now can I do the same? Cool. So now this looks pretty good, right? This looks like a tube that we'd use. And what this allows you to do is go into your layout if you ever want to change something. Maybe we want, this is the tube height. And you can just change the center to center. You can change this interface, stuff like that. Right? So this is pretty good. So now we finished this, and we're ready to move on to building the rest. So now that we have the side rail done, we can add the front and back. So that's a super easy part. So let me make it. It's going to be a 2x1 as well. So when I make all other tubes, what I like to do, and it's my personal preference, is I just like to draw the cross section of the tube here. So this is 1 inch. Yes. Yes. Ask me if you have any questions. Here, let's open it up for questioning. What's up? So can you come here and explain the question? All right, just so. All right, what's up? So when I created the sketch for this, yes. Yes. So you want, okay, so you want me to show that again? Okay, so this is what I did. So I went, here, let's view sketches. So if we back up, so you're talking about how I got this cut in there? Okay, so what I did is I went into a new sketch, right? Well, the first thing to take note of is, see this? All of the geometry from this layout is grayed out here. So there's, this is grayed out, this is grayed out, these lines are grayed out, these are grayed out, and all of this. So then all you do is you go over here to convert entities. You just click on the lines that you want to bring into this new sketch. Does that make sense? Do you guys all follow along? Okay, so What's up? Hold on. What? Come over here, Sahar, and ask the question, just so we kind of record it.
On both sides and
Okay, yeah. Hold on. I think. 1 second. Wait, I'm getting. All right. Can you go on Slack and tell Guy that I don't know if he's on this hangout or if he wants to or what. No, he's not on. All right. So you guys wanted to know about the mirror, right? All right. So let's back up. So if I go into the mirror, right? Yeah, I should be. But also, it's on Hangouts. It's just a regular Hangout. Okay. Stand by. Copy. What? Verified. What's up?
What are you guys doing?
Drive base. Are you calling him? Oh, okay.
What's the drive?
Yes. Yeah. All right. We'll just.
And you guys are streaming this so I can watch this.
Yes, it will be. I don't know if we'll upload it, but yes, it's streaming. Can you post on Slack? Yeah. I think Guy said something. Respond. My internet isn't working. And I can't get on through my... So what's up? Can we continue? Okay. So let me share my screen again.
Are you recording the session?
Yes. All right. So Sahar, your question was, how did I mirror it, right? Okay. So if you look over here, the first option is which plane do you mirror it about? And because I built the symmetry into my initial sketch, I could use these default sketches right here, these planes, and I chose the right one. You see in features to mirror, it copies an entire feature, so it copies this entire cut extrude. And that's actually why I had to split up the part into the boss extrude and then the cut extrude separately, so that I can mirror it. If you look in here, the cut extrude involves this center cut, and I'm mirroring it about this, about the plane, this plane. So really it's symmetric, and its center is at the plane, so it really didn't matter. Does that make sense? Yeah, so to hollow it, what I did was I created a sketch on this plane right here, and then I just added in the wall thickness. Does that make sense? Do you want me to wait or do you want me to continue? I'm good to continue? Yeah, so what I did here was I did not draw another rectangle, actually. You could if you want, perfectly fine. But I just think that converting entities and then offsetting it is easier. And then, yeah. If you want to share your screen, oh, never mind. Go to select contours. So go to cut extrude. And under selected contours at the very bottom, right there. Yeah, select the inside. And then go through all. There you go. Are you on Hangouts on the same computer or no? Different computers? Alright, yeah. 1 second. We'll have to stand by.
You don't want that one to be so great. And then eventually that's over. Pretty sure. Oh, we don't have. We never had a second robot.
Got everyone gather? Everyone do yourself. Guys. Joey, they're here.
So Massa! Yeah, dude, my dad actually bought a Honda the other day. Did you see that Honda Cruiser the other day? Oh, I love it. Oh, I would die.
Hey.
Take it 3 toes. Now.
We're the beach robot now.
What's it on? Come on, let me know. It's a really loud Honda. Come on.
You used to do that. You used to drive the U-Rock.
Come on, guys.
All right.
Jose.
So how's it going, guys? Have you finished it or no? Huh? Okay, so how do you want to do this? Do you want me to answer the question or just keep working? Okay, then we'll cut it later. We'll cut the video later. Huh? Yes. Alright, so now we are on this front rail, and we're not going to have a cut in the middle of the front rail, so just a simple 2x1 frame. I did this on the right plane, and you'll see why later. So now I'm gonna I'm gonna offset this entire thing by 125 again, and just go in. So this is the wall thickness. Cool. So now we're just going to extrude this. I'm just going to build in symmetry again. Let's make this 26. Why not? So Sahara, do you see why I did it on the right plane so that when you hit Control 7 it looks nice? You see that? Alright. So I'm gonna save this as front. I made this 26. We're gonna change it later. So this is the front rail. So now I have enough to start building my West Coast Drive. Is anybody here yet or no? Guys, is anybody at this stage yet? The assembly? Yeah, Hangouts. Yeah. It's cool, right? And we're recording it. Yeah. Copy? Continue? So what I'm gonna do is put in a front rail and a side rail. Whoops. And now I need 2 of these. I don't like the sketch, so I'm gonna go to View, Sketches, get rid of that. So if you hit Control and you drag, you can create another instance. So I'm going to create another instance here. Cool. So now, yes.
To get rid of the sketch in assembly?
You go to View at the top, and then Sketches. So what I'm going to do is I actually like building as much and as many mates into the actual parts as possible. So the front rails are going to have, so their top planes are going to be the same. So you just click the top plane on the front rail 2, the top plane on front rail 1. You hit Control, and then this little pop-up menu goes there. So it's super convenient. Also, the right planes are going to be the same. Cool. So let's do the same. If I hit Shift-C, it collapses all of this. So I'm going to go on the side rail, do the same thing. Yes. I did, yes. And how I did that was, look at my mates. I just mated the right planes together to make them parallel, and then the top planes, so that if I fix this one, if I fix this tube right here, the only degree of freedom this has is, oh, whoops. Float. The only degree of freedom this has is it can only move this way, right? So now I'm going to do the same on the side rails. So I know that their right planes or their cross sections are going to be parallel. So that's done. I know their tops are going to be parallel. So now that's done. So now I have 2 sets of tubes, and they're both parallel to each other. So now what I'm going to do is, see, this is, so by default when you drag in the first item, you fix it, right? So the first item by default is fixed. What I like to do is make these rails to the make these parts to the planes. And here, let's stop. Break.